Hello and welcome. This is a Dewalt DCH253. Going to do a little brush replacement on it. About 6 years ago, I did a video on this. In fact, it was a series of 3 videos showing you how to take this apart and replace the brushes. This is just an updated version of that, so I'm going to get into it. You have to literally pull them off like that. It looks rough, but that's actually the way it goes. You don't break anything by doing that. And there's a good bit of wear in those brushes. See, they're well down. They're well away from the top. This one's done a bit of work. Nope, nothing's break. Nothing's broke. Sometimes I do break them taking them off. They get brittle. But I have a little workaround, and I can put my own version of a cable retainer on that. It's not hard to do. Sometimes you see this happens too, the little terminals get burnt or broken over time. so we can replace that as well. That's for later on. I'm better to get the last screw out. Comes off easier when you take all the screws out. There we are. That could have been contributing to your performance issues as well. Always see. This change of brushes will not do that any harm. And it'll clean up with the armature as well. The burn feels good, the armature don't look too bad. There's not too bad of wear in that. A little clean up. It's perfectly fine. Not too bad. That are all by a little bit of brake cleaner there. It's not bad now. And as you've seen, I blew out the motor and the fill coil. We've got to put the motor together and put it back in. It's important to orientate this properly because there's a little groove there. I'll show you where. We see that notch there. It has to line up with that notch. In order to get that lid on, you know. So that's the way that goes. And put the brushes on. I guess, yep. And there's a little slide that they slide in, like that. They're all the way home there. Right. So we're ready to try and put the lid on here now. Just line up with that groove. There now. We're just not exactly at it. Just go over a little bit like that. There we're lining up with that groove now. Right, I've got all the screws in and I've got a bit of a soldering job done on this terminal here. So it stays in, hopefully. That old terminal is terrible. And the retainer broke off. So I'm doing it, I'm putting in a screw where the retainer was to hold that wire in place. So it'll have a bit of slack and it won't get pulled out. To get it to this stage, you usually put a screw in here just to hold it together. And you see these two springs have slightly different diameter. You can tell what goes where if you happen to forget. To line everything up. There's this little piece that you push in there, and it holds the battery connector out towards the battery. It gives you good contact. There's a little metal piece here as well. It slides in there. Easier said than done. There it is there. We could clean the switch, but I think the switch ain't too bad. It's time to put the cover on and screw it together. And that up at the bottom. Oh, that metal piece always wants to fall out, but you can get it sort of slotted in here. And sometimes you just put a screw in just to make sure it stays on, because we can fit the rest. That'll keep that metal piece on. Also, this part of the body, to get that lined up, you get in with a screwdriver like this. This is what I always do. I seen a guy years ago beating it together with a rubber hammer, but I don't subscribe to that method. Not at all. Not even slightly. That lines that up. It's lined up on both sides. So we just put the screws on now, put it together. That's the screws on and the switch moving freely. The side switch on here, the mode selector, and it's got that shape on it that fits directly over that. It's got a screw in the middle, and you just put that on. Tighten it up gently, because you can't damage these putting them on. I'll tell you how I find that out. And the next thing is the spring to keep that selector in place. That's actually what holds it in the mode it's in, if you know what I mean. And the lid, of course, yes, it can only go on one way as well, so you can't go wrong with that either. so it stays in place. This clip's not really too hard to get in, and you push this rubber thing in. This clip's not right in, right down there. There it is. You just push that rubber thing in, and you can test it at this stage that it's working properly. Which it is. Are back together, going in all three modes. So that's perfect. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and check out my channel for all my other videos.